to plus size beauty with me. Firstly, I've got to grab everything, my casting ring, my Delft clay and my little spatula. To make my pieces I use Delft clay casting, so it's quite a traditional technique where you use Delft clay, which is sort of a mix between clay and sand, and then you form an impression with a master. So this is me just filling up the bottom of the casting ring, then grabbing a master of my plus size body and popping it in. I then use talcum powder to stop all the clay sticking together, and I brush it around to make sure it's an even coverage. Next, the big casting ring goes on top and is filled with more sand and compacted down with a hammer. Then scrape it off to make sure it's all neat, and then this is the impression that the master has left. I grab a toothpick and I make sure that I've got my pouring hole, which I then make bigger with a spatula. This is to help the molten metal run down and into the mould. I then need to add some air vents which will help all the gas escape and allow the metal to travel fully into the mould. Once this is done, I remove the master and line up the top casting ring onto the bottom. Now the fun part, I get my safety specs and my silver grain all ready to go, and then I check my gas torch before lighting it and starting to melt the metal. This takes about 2 to 3 minutes before it's fully molten. I then let it cool down before checking that the cast is good. And she is a beaut.